So you get a sense there's a little channel between the lagoon on your left and the open ocean on your right. You can see the old road that flooded and broke years ago. The new road even broke a few years later, and that bridge was brought in. Actually, the U.S. military, I think, actually brought it and installed it because there's a real problem. There was no way for people to get to the villages in Wota on the right, the village on the right. And so when we're doing our field work, we're taking usually that boat with the engine on it over there. We're doing work locally. And we're driving out through the lagoon, around to our field sites on the outer side of the island. It's at a high tide, you could maybe drive out to the open ocean here, but if you get a sense of it just looking behind me, I'll actually turn so it makes more sense. It's pretty rough out there, so it's pretty hard to get a boat through those breaking waves. They've done it. I've never been present for it, and I'm pretty sure people wouldn't be happy if I was. The interesting thing is this channel's getting harder and harder to get through. At a low tide, it silts up entirely, and that seems to be just since the last El Nino event, just in the last couple of years, that it's gotten really bad. And that's probably the El Nino event, because during El Nino events, the winds reverse directions, and I think it probably brought a lot of sand into the lagoon there, that part of the lagoon. Just walking up to their workshop. Lots of stuff used that they send to the outer islands and everything. And you'll see that little bit of a pile of dive tanks and gas cans and all that. That's our gear that we used yesterday on the boat. The guys were good enough to refill the tanks afterwards. And that's it. So buried in the back on the right, a little bit hard to make out, is a yellow compressor that we bought a few years ago. We got it from eBay in Australia, shipped it here to do the underwater drilling work for the coral core work that I did with Jess Carilli, a scientist who's now in Boston. And we shipped it here, and it was so hard to get it here that we just said they should keep it because it was hopeless to get it home. It would have cost more than it cost to buy it. So, just give you a sense.